All right, guys. Ian Anderson, Jonathan Gomez, Jomez Productions. We're at the Class 1 Open, Jonathan.
We are here.
Yeah, it's great to be out here, man. But, hey, buddy,
Yes, sir.
let's watch some disc golf.
Let's do it.
Awesome. So, Bobby Brown put us together a pretty sweet feature card for you guys. We got Paul McBeth, Simon Lizotte, Cale Leiviska. What was the fourth one?
The fourth one is Will Schusterick.
I can't forget Will. It's the last four winners, right?
I believe so.
Cool. So we're starting off on hole 1, 375. It's just a smashing hyzer over the ball field. Paul McBeth up first on the box. Star Destroyer?
I would say so.
Yep. It's pretty likely. So he pumps it up there. Looks to be a little bit high.
A little high, a little deep.
Yep. I'll have a putt at it, though. It's open on that side. If you finish long right, there's that bush you have to deal with. Up next is Simon Lizotte. Looks like his S-Line PD2, if I had to guess. Simon likes that red shirts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Red shirt or red hat or both.
Yeah, signature look. Great drive from Simon. Pretty parked?
Pretty parked.
Yeah. And up third. Third, the straight crushers, Will Schusterick.
Oh, yeah. He's got a great looking hyzer.
He sure does.
Stood it up just a little more than he looked like he wanted to.
Yeah. There's that bush.
You don't want to end up too far right.
Nope. It'll makes for some interesting putting. And up fourth is Cale Leiviska. Runs airborne disc golf, right?
I believe it's called Airborne. Yes, sir.
Yeah, one of the nicest guys in disc golf for sure. Sponsored by Prodigy like Will. Throw a little hyzer flip to flat. And getting some late fade. A little short, Jay.
Yeah, that low line is so risky, but it looks so nice.
It does, right? I was looking at Cale for a 2. Ooh, tickle it.
Yeah, chained out the right side.
Yep. Will stretching out from the bushes.
Yeah, just didn't seem too confident in that one.
Yeah, almost
off the
kind of
knee.
Give it a little half go action. And McBeast. I watched that one from hole 3. I was surprised.
Yeah, it's surprising to see him not birdie the first hole. I can't tell you how many times I've seen him come out.
Firing.
Yep.
Simon made a nice birdie though. Everyone else is dropping in pars. Eventually. Cale's rocking a sweet beard.
He's so handsome.
He is, man. The ladies love Cale Leiviska. And rightly so. So after hole 1, Simon's got a stroke lead, and we're on to hole 2. Pretty straight. You'll see kind of a flex line, or if you've got a good forehand, you can kind of go up the middle. And was this a 348 or the 375 pin? Do you know?
You'll see a lot of these fly-throughs that are
Yeah.
not all accurate just
Yeah.
because of the weather.
Yeah, it rained like really heavily the day before, and there's quite a bit of flooding, so they had to move around some holes and kind of adjust. And you'll see it as we go. Simon's going up the middle with a mid-range. It looks like probably an MD3. And it comes up a little bit short left. Love a putt, though.
Kind of lifted on him, got a little bit of that tree, slowed it down a little early.
Yeah. And that bush, it's not OB or anything, but you definitely don't want to finish too far to the right.
Yeah, kind of like hole 1, just steer clear of the bushes.
Exactly. Paul's drive goes a little long. Paul McBeth problems. And Will Schusterick. Looks like he's also going up the middle. That's funny. My card almost all took hyzers.
Really, over
Yeah.
the bushes?
Yeah, totally.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it's a little more open line, but it's a pretty big hyzer pull.
Yeah, and it is risky because if you stand it up too much, then you just pretty much don't have a birdie look at all.
Yeah, absolutely. What a drive from Cale, though.
Wow, that was beautiful. He keeps attacking that low line, and he's executing very well.
Definitely. So Will hit a pretty early tree, and just laying up for par.
Looks like he sawed it off a little bit.
He did, didn't he?
And short.
Yeah. Simon for a 2. Not so much. He wanted it, though. Yeah. And Will to save his par. Wow.
What
Good
a
putt.
great save.
Yeah, it was. Not feeling too good about the upshot or the drive, but the putt was good at least.
Yeah, I mean, there's no wind right now, so I think his confidence was up.
Yeah, I was surprised about how non-windy it was out here. I've always heard stories And Paul wanted that one a little too much, Jay.
Yeah, well, it looked like he looked around like there was wind. Maybe he wasn't expecting
Yeah.
it lifted or something.
That was interesting. Simon makes his comebacker for a par. And Paul's going to drop in a par after Cale makes a nice birdie. What a drive. Doing some work. And McBeast goes par to start the tournament. Yeah.
Starting out a little slow.
Yeah, uncharacteristic for sure. Simon and Cale are one down now. And we're on to hole 3. It's a pretty straight shot with a little bit of a hyzer finish, a little left finish.
Yeah, it's mostly straight downhill.
Yeah.
Then you kind of want to hyzer back up left.
Yeah, the
Uphill.
ceiling seemed to be the challenge on this hole.
Exactly. You kind of got to attack it all the way down the hill and then hope to skip back up the hill.
Exactly. It's a pretty narrow gap height-wise you need to hit. Looking at Cale's pull, looks like he turned that one over a little too much. He's going to finish almost pin high, but quite a bit to the right.
Yeah.
And Simon Lizotte. Caught a late tree on that ceiling.
Yeah, it looked like you went a little early.
Got a putt, though.
Mm-hmm.
And McBeth.
He didn't seem too happy with that one.
No,
either.
that one faded out way early. Gonna have an interesting putt over through those bushes.
Mm-hmm.
And look at it, Will. That looks nice.
Yeah, that's more like it. Great skip.
Oh, yeah. The skips were spotty out there today. You couldn't really count on them all the time.
Yeah, I mean, just because the ground was so soft from the rain,
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to know where it's dry enough to get a skip and where it's just going to sink into the ground.
Yeah, great point. Cale is going to take a par after Paul misses his birdie putt. Also, they're going to take a par.
Check out this attempt here that Simon was trying to come up with.
Oh, it's like the old man horseshoe putt, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We have Steve. I remember that Steve Brinster busted that out in
Uh-huh.
2014 Worlds.
I really wanted Simon to make that.
That would have been a good one. That was a great birdie from Will, though. That's 3 holes and 3 different guys carding the lone birdie.
Exactly. It's not very characteristic with these holes. I mean, they're not too terribly difficult. It's
No.
just only one man each hole.
Yeah, and none of them's Paul so far.
Exactly.
Yeah. So Paul is one back of the card, and now we're on to hole 4. And this one was originally a par 4, but they trimmed it back to a par 3, and we're playing the short pin, which is right there, because it flooded, Jonathan.
It did.
Yeah,
It
this
flooded,
bas-
and you see all the little riverbed right around there, and it was all full.
Yeah, I think that basket position was underwater. And look at Will's drive. Roller. Wow, really interesting. There is OB to the left of the basket. And it looks like it had...
I think it hit a puddle.
Oh, really?
I think that's what stopped it so fast.
I was like, what's going on there? Looking at Cale's pull. Going right up the middle. A little to the right, though. And it's kind of dense over there.
Yeah, it's just mostly a pitch out from there. There's not much else.
Yep. Simon going forehand, which was a popular throw on my card. But I think I had like the 3 best forehanders in the world on my card. Sexton, Wysocki, and Coling.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. And even Paul going forehand. Looks like that's one of his star destroyers. Didn't get quite the flip he wanted.
No, got knocked down early.
Yep. At least he didn't fade into the bushes. Oh.
It rolled there.
Oh, it rolled into the other bushes. How about that? Gonna have a putt, but it's longer than he wanted. And here it is right now. Did you hit the tree?
Yep, hit the tree.
Wow.
He was telling it not to, and it just didn't listen.
So that was Cale pitching out with a little tomahawk, which was done nicely. And you see there is OB past the basket, which made that a little bit scary. Simon gave that a little bit of a go. Gonna be taking a par. And Will? Oh, yeah, he did hit a puddle, didn't he? Or a creek.
Basically like a little running creek right there. That
It turns out there's a lot more water in Kansas than there is in California right now, Jonathan.
Texas as well.
Oh, no. Sit.
It was drying.
Wow. But still, this is going to be for bogey. Cards that one at least.
Slow start, not the way he drew it up.
Yeah. Losing 2 strokes to the card over first 4 holes. Will with a nice putt for par. Simon and Cale also dropping in some pars. No problem there. That was a pretty tough hole. I didn't see a lot of success with my card either.
Yeah, it was just that gap. I guess people were just having a little trouble.
Yep, and that OB left, the low ceiling makes it tough. It's going to take us to hole 5, and this is a temp hole they put in that day.
Yes, maybe about 5 or 6 that morning.
Yeah, because there's more holes underwater. Play here is usually a forehand around the outside, or an any backhand. It looks like Will's got a forehand lined up. That's looking tasty, Jay.
Probably pretty well executed for probably not having thrown that hole.
Yeah, everybody's playing this blind, essentially. I mean, you can see the basket, but they haven't practiced it. And Cale taking a line I hadn't seen before, and I think we know why.
That's just such a low ceiling to get all the way down there with such a soft ground,
Yeah, absolutely. Simon throwing a forehand, probably a PD2. Comes up a little bit short. I'll have a putt, though. And Paul throwing forehand as well. Looks like a Star Destroyer. Playing a little bit tighter. Ooh, that worked.
Went deep again.
Wow. So looking at Cale's second shot after that early tree hit. Just hoping to get up and down for his par. Probably not quite as close as he wanted, but should be able to make that. And Paul coming back towards the basket for a birdie. He's getting on track, Jay.
That's the putt we're looking for.
Yep. It's the putt he's looking for, too. Will to match that birdie. Take it a bar. Simon for a 2.
Ooh, snuck it under the band.
Yeah, a little high, but it worked. And we got Cale for par save. Ooh. That one thought about it.
It tried.
It did. Yeah, I hope you brought your towel today. Wipe off your discs. It was wet out there.
Yeah.
And Will makes a nice little par save right there. What a gent. Fixes the chains for the next card.
Even though there wasn't one.
There wasn't one. That's a good point.
Maybe some casuals coming around afterwards or something.
Still nice though. Looks like Simon has a stroke lead on the rest of the card, and we're on to hole 6 and another hole that they haven't played or practiced.
Nope.
Unless you played the Monkey Island Open, right? But I don't think these guys did.
Another sunrise special.
Yep. So this is an island green, so you have to be inside the stone area, or you're throwing from a drop zone. Simon came up way short.
Yeah.
He threw
Straight high. I mean, it was about as high as it could get.
Yeah, that was really interesting. I didn't expect that. It looks like Paul's throwing his Champ Monster and goes a little bit long right, but he's bagging that putt all day. Will Schusterick. That's tracking.
That's a nice shot.
Even I would make that putt. And Cale Leiviska.
It's
A little bit short, but Cale will make that most of the time. So Simon, after coming up quite a bit short.
Oh.
Hitting those nubbins. Paul. Nice birdie there.
That's 2 in a row.
Yeah, getting on track. Will looking to match Paul. Nicely done. And we got Cale for birdie.
Laser.
That'll work. Kind of a cool hole, though. I like it.
Yeah, Monkey Island is pretty nice.
Yeah. You know what that structure used to be over there?
Wasn't it for monkeys?
It was a monkey jail, dude.
What?
No, I'm making that up. We got Simon and Will and Cale all tied. And Paul is one back of that. And we are on to hole 7, which was a real hole, but it was hole 8, but they made it hole 7, right, Jonathan?
Yeah, from this point on, until we get to hole 14,
take the graphics with a grain of salt.
just listen to us.
Yeah.
Listen to Ian; he knows what he's talking about.
Paul has the box. Oh, interesting window.
Yeah, but he caught the tree and then landed right up there against the
Yeah.
bushes.
It's just a little bit high. That's a tight window over there.
Yeah.
Will trying to go the same route. Looks like he did some tree trimming, but it fought through
Yeah, he fights through it and
really
gets
well. Yeah, my whole card was taking the hyzer line here. Cale? You also get knocked down, it looked like?
Yeah, just got another, kind of lifted up too high.
Mm-hmm. Simon Lizotte also taking that window.
Gosh.
Wow, that was crushed.
Such a long flex.
Wow. Yeah, there's a pretty big dog leg left, and they're kind of just cutting the corner right there.
Yeah,
He's going to have an eagle putt.
he is.
Yeah. Looking at Cale's second shot, trying to make this corner and get down towards the basket. And wow, from where he was, that was impressive.
Yeah, a little short, but he'll definitely have a putt at it.
Mm-hmm. It looks like Paul's got his Nova. I think that's about the farthest I've ever seen him put the Nova from the basket.
Yeah, anything outside of 20 is
Yeah.
uncharacteristic for the Nova.
For sure. Will with his eagle putt just misses, and this is Simon for eagle. Oh, I wanted that one, Jonathan.
Oh yeah,
That would have been good. But still easy birdie, right?
of course.
Cale for his birdie. Speaking of birdies, nicely done. That guy is Minnesota Disc Golf.
Oh yeah, he's.
The face of it for
What's
sure.
the course they play a lot, or that he's
Blue Ribbon Pines?
Yeah, that's one of them. But then they have. I thought they had one that Airborne does a lot of stuff
okay.
out of. But
Right on.
but yeah, Blue Ribbon Pines definitely one I'd like to visit.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of great things about that one. Simon making a birdie along with Paul and Will. What?
Yeah, that just caught the right side, maybe a little high. Just gave it a chance to flip out right off the outside of the pan.
Oh, man, that was unfortunate.
Went from that eagle look to I guess that was a par. I think.
Par, yeah. Well, par save. But everybody else carding birdies right there. Well done. It's a pretty birdieable par 4
Oh yeah.
for this card, especially.
Yeah, you get halfway down there, you're at least getting the birdie.
So we're on to hole 8 from a long hole into a short hole 225. Pretty wooded though, and there is OB right in the road. But see what they can do. Paul going forehand with a monster right here. Playing that hyzer line. Get in the bucket. Wow.
What a great shot.
Well, go. Paul's officially got his groove back.
Not the disc though.
Nah. Cale parking it as well.
He's been pretty money with that mid range.
He sure has. And Simon going backhand, flirting with the ceiling, but staying clean.
Pinball it in there.
He is, man. Use that backboard if they give it to you. And Will going forehand. Also on that hyzer line.
What a great skip.
Those are 4 pretty good shots.
They surrounded that
Yeah,
thing.
they did. Don't move, basket. That was Simon for birdie. This is Cale for his birdie. No worries there. Paul dropping in. And here's Will. Little star frame.
Not bad.
Yep. There's no eagle in there to throw us off on what to call it. I think somebody called it like a superstar frame.
Yeah, I read a couple of the responses to that from the last one we did.
Nice. So we're on to hole 9, 260 foot, so slight dogleg right. If you go into that creek or beyond, it is OB, as well as into the street being OB.
Yeah, it kind of bottlenecks down at the end of this one.
Yeah, it does. A
A
little,
little sketchy.
a little peninsula green action. Looks like Paul's going back to that champ monster. And that's looking pretty good. Ooh. Is that in bounds?
I believe that's all in bounds. I think the street is actually out of bounds.
The OB,
so.
okay. Cale going a little turnover. Mid, it looks like.
That was a nice line.
Beautiful.
Marty, get out of the way.
Is that Gregoire?
Yeah.
I didn't know he's
He's
spotting
just
too.
holding the little flags in his hands. I'm not even sure he was spotting. I thought he was live scoring.
He tweets and he spots. He's multi-talented. Pretty good drive right there from Simon. And looks like Will's going back. We see a lot of forehands from Will this round already.
Yeah, but I guess he's going with whatever works.
Yeah, he's making it happen.
Not a very good bounce.
No. Didn't get that skip he wanted. Still has a birdie putt, though. Or not.
Yeah, I think just the confidence outside the circle is just a little lacking for him.
Paul, definitely feeling his putt at this point in the round. Makes another one. That's like 4 or 5 birdies in a row, I want to say.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And so, Simon, that was going on BJ.
That's a good flag. It's nice if you can hit the flag right on it like that.
Yeah.
Because these baskets will definitely, as flat as they're on top, they'll launch you right off.
Oh, yeah. That was headed straight for the creek. Great birdie from Cale. And Will is dropping in his par along with Simon.
Bobby, those aren't soft taco shells.
What did you just do?
I'm stamping this misprint.
Yeah, but you triple stamped the double stamp.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Can too.
Cannot.
Can too.
Cannot.
Can too.
You can't triple stamp a double stamp. You can't triple stamp a double stamp. You can't. Eric!
Guys, enough!
You want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
All right. Paul is on a pretty good run right now. He's still one back at Cale, though. He's got a great round going. And we're on to hole 10. Is it that peninsula green, Jonathan?
It is.
Oh, my goodness.
It's very rare, I think, you see people go straight at it. Most
Yeah.
of them do the strategic layup and then kind of see if they can get a birdie look from the right side.
Yeah, because if you miss, if you go a B off the tee, there's a drop zone. You know, even if you go a B like 3 feet from the basket, you're about 60 feet away from that drop zone.
Yeah, and you're just going to be taking a 4 at best at that point.
Absolutely. Looks like Paul threw his champ monster, just laid up for a smart par. Cale looks like he's also laying up. Just risk reward just tells you just to lay up on this hole.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with taking a 3 on this hole.
But making it stick on that peninsula is no easy task. Even Simon's laying up. You know it's a layup hole.
Exactly. And I believe they're all throwing probably the same disc they just threw on hole 9.
I think you're right. Paul definitely did anyway. And I believe Will went forehand. All landed in pretty good spots. They might actually have little putts if they want them.
Yeah, I guess it just depends on how aggressive they want to be. Like, obviously, Will's just laying up.
Yeah.
But I think maybe Simon,
Might have given himself a good angle at it.
yeah. Cale kind of doing the same.
Yep. Smart play right there. Yeah, you really don't want to go B on this one because then you still have to go.
Yeah. And it might not. See, Paul was actually going. He hit it right, just a little low right on the pin.
Yep. And Simon?
Ooh.
He was
right
running
off
that
the
one.
cage.
Yeah.
That would be such a good 2 to get right there.
Yeah, it's got to be a stroke in the field. If not 2 on, probably half the field.
Yeah, anybody that makes a mistake.
Uh-huh. Which is really easy to do on this hole. That was Cale, and this is Will dropping in some pars. And Paul will follow shortly. Putting with the monster.
That's what I like to do.
Yep. Get that close, you can putt with a monster. That's the name of the game right there. So everybody taking pars, but really no shame in a par. That's a smart play on that hole. It's going to bring us to hole 11. Looks like Cale's still in the lead. And this is par 4, Jonathan?
I believe it's a par 4.
Yeah, so you see layups just short of this water, and then most people are playing it over the water on their second shot, which is where the drone's flying for you right now. And there you can see the basket. That's a pretty easy par 4 for these guys. It's not overly long. And
Yeah, you can see Paul. I mean, he's just kind of
50%
laying it up
right
there. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Looks like Cale's going to follow suit, which is a nice little toss. You could fade too far left and go in the water. Cale didn't.
He didn't.
No, that's good.
And of course Simon's gonna try to go for it.
What? That's crazy.
It's just kind of stalled. It's so high.
Wow.
You know, I think it's just gonna dump out and end up in the water here.
Oh,
yeah.
there it is. Actually, I saw that one live. People started making crazy noises when Simon threw that, and I was like, oh, that must have been Simon.
Yeah.
Just doing Simon things. Perfect layup from Will right there. Paul's second shot.
Maybe a rock 3 or a Mako.
Yeah, I think rock 3. Yeah, one of the two, though, for sure. We'll find out. You guys shooting it in the bag?
I believe so. We should be doing that this weekend.
Yeah, look forward to that on Jomez Productions. Nice layup right there from Cale. Will looking to follow suit. Hits that gap perfectly.
What a nice layup.
Yeah.
He's got such a good approach game.
Doesn't he? That's going to be Simon's third shot. Just laying up for a 4. And this is Cale for the longest of the birdie putts. Just smashes it in there. Paul follows suit. That might be his Mako, actually, huh?
Yeah, I was thinking maybe. I'm just not sure if he has a purple rock 3.
Yeah.
But he might. I guess we'll find out.
Yep. That was Simon with a par and Will with a nice birdie. Doing work. Looks like Cale is still leading the card by a stroke over Paul. And that's going to bring us to hole 12 now?
Hole 12.
Yep. And this is just a nice, easy backhand hyzer. Well, nice and easy for them. I would have to throw it with everything I possibly could. But it's very reachable for these guys. And see the basket right here. The danger in here is skipping too hard into those trees.
Yeah, this kind of kills your birdie putt.
Yeah, no matter how close you are. Paul crushing it out there. Little right, Jonathan.
Yeah, hung out a little right, a little deep too.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of a putt, but it's longer than he wanted. Cale looking to get a little bit closer than Paul.
A little more direct.
It is, yeah. Gets a little medium skip. He should be pretty good. Oh.
A little too much.
Didn't get a medium skip.
Got an extra large skip.
He supersized his skip right there. Will taking a little bit of a higher line with looks like something, a mid-range or something
Yeah,
almost?
some kind of mid. I'm not sure. But
Wow.
that's pretty parked.
You know, that's actually like a really good approach to that hole. Because you're not going to skip so hard with a mid.
Yeah, especially the higher you throw it too.
Yeah.
It's gonna.
Yeah, if you can throw a mid 400 feet, it's a good option. Simon plays a little bit wide, but gets a great skip in towards the basket and stays out of the trees. I'll have a putt. And this is Cale from the woods.
Not much you can do with that.
Nah, it's pretty ugly back there. Paul from outside the circle wanted that one.
It just sailed on him.
Did. And here is Paul to save his par from the knee. Good putt. That's one you probably don't practice very much, but
No.
it's always nice when you make them. I bet Paul practices them, though. Simon with a nice birdie. Cale to save his par. No problem with that one. And we got Will with a little drop-in birdie. Beautiful drive on that hole.
That was a great drive.
I really like that one a lot.
Just with a mid. It's got to be some kind of mid range.
Yeah, mid or fairway or something, yeah. It was beautifully played. And everybody within the stroke, Jonathan.
Wow.
Yeah,
It's getting tight.
it is. Cale's got everybody by 1. And we are on to hole 14, 393. Pretty flat, then it gets downhill. And there's this tree to the right of the basket, which you don't want to be in. But other than that, if you're close, you're pretty good.
Yeah. It is hole 13 though.
Yeah.
We're still off, aren't we?
Oh, yes, thank you, sorry. Will throwing a little hyzer flip that didn't flip quite enough. Drifts left, almost got Michael. Michael's got jukes, though.
He's perfect dodging those so far. One day his luck might run out, but so far.
Simon going forehand, a little flex line, and needs that to stay left out of the bushes. Looks like a little bit putt.
Yeah, good enough. I think he can back in there and still have a pretty clean putt.
Paul going forehand with a Star Destroyer. I was talking to the Eric Oakley, our leader right now in the clubhouse.
Mhm.
He said he chained out on this one for an ace.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, that's such a nice
With
to
an
see.
FD.
Wow.
And Cale.
Wow. It's that same mid-range.
Dang.
I need to find out what that is. That thing is money for
That's
him.
a nice disc. Will from left of the basket.
Got it.
Huge putt.
That's beautiful.
What a great run.
Longest putt of the round.
Yeah, that's for
this
sure.
card.
Definitely. Paul looking to match Will. Huh. Usually gets closer than that.
Yeah.
Just a little bit off. Simon, that drive worked out. Stayed out of the bushes for the most part. Card's a nice birdie.
Off the knee, out of the bushes, just like Paul's last.
Yeah, it's true, huh? Paul cleans up his par, and Cale has a little drop-in birdie.
He could putt with a monster from there.
He could have. That's a monster putting range. And Cale getting a stroke on everybody but Simon. And Will, actually, too. Had a nice birdie. I guess Paul losing a stroke would be the better way to put it on that, wouldn't it? It'd be a lot easier anyway. We're on to hole 15, 515 feet. Hole 14, thank you, Jonathan. And I got OB right in the river. And there is OB left as well.
Yeah, OB left, and they did start planting. They just last year, I believe, planted those little seedlings in the fairway. So if for some reason you were lower, you could catch into all that. But
Looks like Will's turned over a little too much. Came up quite a bit short. Looking at a par. And Simon's drive right here. Throwing a hyzer flip.
this was a beautifully executed shot.
Go
Look at
in.
that.
Wow.
Gorgeous.
Parked. He'll take that all day. Cale looking to match Simon's. I think you wanted more flip on that one.
Yeah, just kind of dumped out early.
Stays out of the OB at least, though.
Yep, the easy three.
Probably a lot of threes on this hole, I'd imagine. You gotta have a pretty big arm to go OB.
Yeah, OB deep for sure.
Yeah.
But
Paul. Wow.
flexed it pretty nice, pretty close to Simon's.
That was pretty good, too. Yeah. And Will throwing along this row of trees. Should be able to get up and down. Stays in bounds, right?
Yep.
Cool. And look at it. Cale's second shot. Also should have it up and down for a par. If he can make this putt. Yep.
Snuck it in there.
A little high, but it worked. There's Jonathan getting some sweet angles right there. Some high-speed footage.
I'm trying to be the tree.
I can't even see you there.
No.
No. Simon with a nice birdie, and Paul matches that. Those are some impressive birdies, Jonathan.
That was a great drive. To make it flex that long and still keep it from going too deep.
Yeah, it really pinches down at the end there. That green, if you can throw that far, you got to worry about it for sure. Will makes his par. Paul and Simon getting strokes on Will and Cale. Everybody's still within one stroke now. And that is going to take us to hole 15? Yeah. So this is another hole they added, right, Jonathan?
Yeah, they added that this morning. You see the little temp box,
Yeah.
the rubber pad or grass pad, whichever one they want to pick.
Yeah, it's a little dogleg right, and the basket's kind of tucked into these trees, and Simon takes a Simon line. Just throwing a hyzer over everything. Oh, my goodness. Did he go long?
Yeah, long and left.
Wow.
It kind of sailed on him.
Yeah, you can see the basket right there, just past Joe Height. And we got McBeast throwing a forehand with that Star Destroyer. Looks like he's also going a little bit long, but we'll have a putt. We'll see
If
how
he
nice
can
it
find
is.
a way through that tree.
Yeah. Will also going forehand. Looks to be a little bit high. Yeah,
He knocked it down a little early.
it did. But should also have a putt. It might be interesting, but I'll have a putt. And Cale going turnover backhand.
Oh, reliable.
Yep. It's
Look
that
at that
same
thing.
hit, isn't it?
Man.
How many birdies you get with that disc this day?
Oh, wow, that's crazy to miss high
Yeah.
from that position.
With that low ceiling, especially for sure. Cale keeping that birdie going. Loves that mid. Well, probably likes the putter too. That was Paul. A nice birdie putt.
It was nice for it to carry further right to give him a good look at that putt.
Yeah, got him past that tree, didn't it? And that was Simon. I guess he missed his birdie putt.
Yeah, he just kind of laid up.
Oh, okay.
He went really fast, so we didn't catch the layup.
He does that sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. And Paul getting the stroke on Simon and Will. Cale still leading the card by 1. And it's going to take us to hole 16, which is downhill, then back uphill. And the basket's kind of tucked in these trees down here. I just see some nice, like, mild hyzers.
Yeah, as long as they don't crush it too hard and end up deep in the water.
Mm-hmm. It's a pretty good pull, though. And there's a few trees in the way, which usually keep you in bounds. Looks like Paul's throwing his pink Star Destroyer. Where'd he go?
It looks like a little bit short.
Did it? Okay.
He just kind of bombed a hyzer the whole way. Probably didn't carry as far as he wanted it to.
Gotcha. Looks like Cale finished pin high left. Got a skip he didn't want. And Simon Lizotte. There's a hyzer. Simon will take it.
Got through.
Wow. Looks parked.
Pretty parked.
Mm-hmm.